the Boss. Check us out every Saturday, 5 to 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, only on BigExposedRadio.com.
So yeah, people that gravitate towards the simple fact that they just sit around and look at your comments and look at what you post on Facebook or social media for that matter, and they see the videos and they see the messages and they quickly assume that it's about them. But people understand this, that there are 50 billion more people in this world other than your goddamn self. So it's not everybody is going to be talking about you. Mm-hmm. I know a quite few people, and I said that to the person. I said, I just don't know you.
Right.
I know a lot of other people. I love music.
Hey everybody, this is your girl, the magical Anissa Moore.
Everybody, check out what you missed on the one and only Be Inspired Radio Show.
I'm just thankful this year I've dealt with some growing pains, and I've overcome some things, and I've also accomplished some things in the process. I've learned some things. I learned that everybody loves your work until they gotta pay for it. That's what I learned. That's what I learned. I learned everybody loves what you do.
The pay?
I mean,
not always.
Listen, the Bible says money answereth all things.
Well,
okay, and there is a place. There is a place where finances is necessary. And when you got kids, and when you got a wife, and then you doing everything, and you top dog at what you do, especially when you weren't in the same place like with this radio show. You ain't in the same place you were a year ago. Should nobody be coming on the show and not donating to your show?
Can you say that on my show?
Should nobody be coming to your show?
Can you say that in the middle of the live?
Yeah, make that a promo, please.
Should nobody come on this show without donating?
That is a nice commercial.
I don't care if it's $20.
Donate.
Tune in to Be Inspired every Wednesday live at 7 p.m. right here on BeExposedRadio.com.
Yeah, this the man that holds it down, Mr. Showtime, the Boss. Check us out every Saturday, 5 to 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, only on BigExposedRadio.com.
So yeah, people that gravitate towards the simple.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
Artist Exchange.
The Artist Exchange. The Artist Exchange. The Artist Exchange.
The Artist Exchange.
The Artist Exchange Live.
The Artist Exchange. The Artist Exchange.
The Artist Exchange.
Artist Man.
Hey, what's up? What's up? What's up? Welcome to the Artist Exchange Radio Show here live on BeExposedRadio.com. I'm your host, Nate. I guess everybody else is snowed in. It's a blizzard outside. It's crazy. But we have a show to do, and I'm going to go on. You see Miss Sharan Nixon of
They can see me.
Baltimore Fashion Week and the Fashion Umbrella sitting in the room. So she'll be our guest today, and we'll be talking about marketing and branding of your events, your products, your services, but more importantly, social media, how to market, why it's important, what's the best way to do it, all that jazz and much more. But I'll start off with some intro. We don't have a lot of time in this first segment, but I'll start off with put in the work. The first OMG moment for me, someone sent me this video clip, and Sharan actually watched it. It's called The Strange Things About the Johnsons. It's a student picture, a film, and it's written by this gentleman, Ari, I don't want to say his last name, and I've reached out to him and a couple of the cast members to actually come on the show in January. So I'll keep you all updated on that. It's a really strange movie. It deals with ancestral relationships.
I just want you to know I couldn't sleep.
between a father and a son. Well, I'll say a son and a father. The film opens up with a dad coming in to the bedroom of his son, and his son, I
Can
guess...
we have to talk about this to upset me more? It
opens up with the dad coming into the room, catching the son, I guess, exploring himself. I'll say it that way. And it's a downhill trip for the rest of the movie. The son actually is molesting the father throughout the whole video, which is the strange
Nightmares
part.
is what I had. Okay.
But my initial introduction to the movie was a friend of mine is a blogger for YouTube, and he reviews everything. And he reviewed this movie, and I watched his review of it, but he didn't show the movie like everybody else did. He did his initial review of it, and then like I started watching all these other people that were showing the movie as they were commentating on it, and it made me want to watch it. So I found it, and it's really short. It's about 35 minutes long.
Too long.
No, I don't think it's that long. And it's like, I just want to know where people's minds are when they're creating work like this. Like, what are you thinking about? What's on your plate in life that this is possible? And it's strange that the whole plot of the story is the son was infatuated with his dad from a very young age, and that initial contact with his dad when he was exploring himself kind of set the ball to rolling. So he began molesting his dad throughout his entire adult life, from the age of, it says 16 in the movie. And it's just weird. I don't suggest anybody watch this. I don't want to hate on the filmmaker, the writer, director. I don't want to hate on any of the actors, because you got to get your shine as an actor myself. But there's a limit to what I think I would do. Now, I've been naked on stage. I play various types of characters on stage, but I think that's my limit. And that's...
What's your limit?
A play is much different than a TV show or a movie, because that's a stain in history. Like, you'll remember a play, but I can't, unless I took pictures or there's a video floating around, you don't ever know for sure. So if you weren't there, you don't know it. But this is being circulated around the world, and every review that I've seen had at least like 1 million or to 100K like followers or clicks on it.
For this movie?
Yes, like,
because people are, you know what, I'm gonna shut up.
But it's like watching a car wreck, because you don't want to watch it. You feel wrong. But it's just something about it that you like, I have to watch this to the end. Like, how does this? It's the strange thing. Also, in Baltimore, Pew. Gun don't even want me to do it. But,
I'm waiting to have a meeting.
Mayor Pew has canceled the normal MLK parade. She's canceled the parade. She's gonna replace it with a day of give back. She wants the city to do some volunteerism, doing good things. She feels as though...
I thought it was supposed to be like a church service where they just remember Martin Luther King.
Well, in this city, the parade has been kind of the central point of that, not the point, but the activity for that day. But it's strange to me because, like, BOPA and that office is still reaching out for volunteers. So the parade itself is supposed to still go on. But that whole battling of the bands, that whole parade is not. So I'm just thinking, is this going to be a bunch of her friends' organizations that's going to march? And then the actual band component of it, like the marchers, it will take place at Morgan State University. Way over on that side. That's what I'm saying. Like, it being downtown was central for everybody to be able to get there, and the area that it's in is kind of in close proximity to everything, so it wasn't hard. So now we got to go all the way to Morgan and watch the band. So I don't really think it's going to be that big of a turnout other than the people who normally follow. Huh?
Watch the band on a football field?
What's going to happen. I don't think, I really don't think people are going to come out to that. Like the normal people that will want to see it. You know, we love a marching band. When you hear it, you find it, you follow it for a few blocks, and then you turn back and go back home. Like that was the whole purpose of it. But now it's not like that. It is, it's canceled. Thanks, Mayor Pugh. The Golden Globes are out. Did you know the Golden Globes are out? When we come back from the break, I'm going to give you some of the hits and misses of this, well, 2018's Golden Globe. We have some good winners. Get Out is controversial this year because it's being listed as a comedy musical in the Best Motion Picture. It's being listed as... Right.
That's considered a comedy musical? Where?
Because it's satire, and satire is normally in the comedy section of award shows. So that's a big controversial point. And Girls Trip is nowhere to be found in the Golden Globe. So more with the Artist Exchange radio show will return after this commercial break.
Are tuned in to BeExposedRadio.com.
Not what's going to happen.
That's exactly.
Do y'all think that we're about to go to war with North Korea?
We're going to get tracked down, huh?
Do you think North Korea is going to bomb us? Is it going to be like a nuclear?
Probably.
Probably.
We lost all our allies.
Yep.
All of them.
All of them.
All of them.
Now, is that because of Trump or is that something Obama
because
did?
of Trump.
He purposely lost them. He said it too. He doesn't want to.
All the people that don't like us now, there are nice pictures of Obama meeting with them.
She said, also look at his past campaign. Most of his endorsements were from the Klan. Y'all about to assassinate me. My phone, my hair keeps getting tangled up in this thing. But I have read this plenty of different times that the Klan, oh my God, y'all about to yell at me so bad. But just tell me if I'm wrong or right. Did they or did they not endorse Obama also?
No, they did not.
Was that a rumor that I heard?
Yes, it was.
I swear in my life I have heard that the Klan has endorsed Obama. I'm dead serious, yo. Like,
You
please
gotta be careful leaving
can somebody
out of here.
Google that for me? I'm dead serious. Like, I read somewhere. I think it was like when he ran back in
You want to meet his parents?
2008.
These are his parents.
Says who?
Crystal Renee Radio Show.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com, the home of Talk Lately with Monty, every Tuesday at 7 p.m.
Hey everybody, check out what you missed on the one and only Be Inspired Radio Show. Our topic tonight is Spirit of Thanksgiving. And I have in the studio with me my husband, Titus James. Woo.
Titus.
Hello.
Titus James.
Titus. We up here.
This man.
We are like off the chain because we not, it's right before. Like I say, it's right before a holiday. Nobody, when you at work, nobody's. Everybody's thinking about that plate they're gonna get and their take-home plate.
Right now, people are mapping out their the logistics of like the houses that you go to, because there are some houses that you go to for breakfast in the morning.
Right.
That's just me.
Right.
And then there are houses that you go to early. Like Brandy Mom, she likes to get you in there early, so that's like 3 o'clock.
That's early.
Yeah, that's early.
But some people,
her aunt and uncle, they have Thanksgiving at 12 noon.
So getting brunch.
Yes.
It's full dinner. It ain't brunch. It's macaroni and cheese.
Yes.
Do they go out
12 noon.
Do they go out after?
Sometimes, nope.
Oh, they want you to leave?
No, they sit there, they eat, they like,
talk.
play games, talk.
played.
Well, I guess it's better than having it at night because then it's late. And,
I mean, you be sleepy all day. I mean, because you sitting there, you eating all day.
And then the game come on.
In Virginia, they start early in the morning with waffles and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But the waffles don't start all the way straight through dinner. They still making waffles, frying fish all day long.
Laugh that loud.
But then there's everything else in there too, turkey and all that the regular stuff. But they frying fish and making waffles all day long.
They never stop.
It's like fish, waffles, it's fried potatoes, all kinds of stuff.
What
all
happened
day
to the
long.
rest of the Thanksgiving food?
That's what I'm saying. No, all of that is
That's
there.
there.
But the special part about it is that everybody's coming because they want either a piece of fish or they want a waffle.
Oh, okay.
So you be there all day long. You eat your waffle, your fish, and then you go and sit down somewhere and you play games and stuff. And then you come back later on if you want another waffle. You got the iron's hot.
They just keep it going.
Tune in to Be Inspired every Wednesday live at 7 p.m. right here on BeExposedRadio.com.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com, the home of Talk Lately with Marnie, every Tuesday at 7 p.m. What's going on this weekend? Nothing? It's too cold? Girl, I'm never going to go see this Selma movie. Gosh. It's sad. I don't like looking at people in old clothes. You know what I'm saying? Dressed in them styles. Those styles is played. And I definitely don't want to go see another movie where Oprah got her bags on display. The ones under her eyes. And I love me some Oprah, but goodness gracious, they always put her, strip her down with no makeup on, and them bags on her eyes be on display. Like, girl, let your worries go. Stop holding them down like that. Get some rest. She need a whole week of sleep.
The all-new season of Talk Lately, Monday through Thursday at 7 p.m. on BeExposedRadio.com.
I know the weight is killing you. Suspense is... All this stuff in the news keeps happening, and I'm not even here to talk about it. But look, on May 17th at 7 p.m., Talk Lately with me, Marnie, is back. We can get into the gossip, all the entertainment news, the politics, everything.
Hey everybody, check out what you missed on the one and only Be Inspired radio show. So how important is it for you to have an organization like that and having a child of your own? How does that influence your ability to do the Impact organization?
It influences a lot. It's a little bit challenging because a lot of times people will say, oh, like, you have to practice what you preach, right? So if I'm telling my daughter and I'm raising her under the impact principles and I'm telling other mothers to do this, I have to do the same thing with my child, which is kind of testy a little bit. But I see a lot of development with her. Her leadership, she's only 4. And when I say she has some awesome leadership qualifications, I mean awesome. It's little things that we can observe with our kids, right?
Right.
For instance, when we take them to the park.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
Artist Exchange.
The Artist Exchange. The Artist Exchange. The Artist Exchange.
The Artist Exchange.
The Artist Exchange Live.
The Artist Exchange. The Artist Exchange.
The Artist Exchange.
Starts now.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
Hey, what's up, and welcome back to the Artist Exchange Radio Show. She's so good. I am Nate, your host of the Artist Exchange Radio Show, and actually, I did not start off by saying this because we were late because everybody didn't show up because there's a blizzard outside.
But I'm here.
But you're here. Sharon's here.
Yeah.
Because she's a business woman, and she's about her business. So actually, this is the last show for 2017. We're slated to start back up on January the 5th of 2018. Whole new team, obviously. And
Me and you again in January.
Erase, replace, embrace new faces. So on and so forth. Maybe Sharan will be back. You never know what may happen. You never know. Just
they're the hottest radio station in the country. So hey, hot deserves hotter, which is me, but hey, which is us.
Hey,
which is us.
That's what it is. That's what it is. So, like I said, this is the last show for the year, and we've had an awesome year of events. But next year it's going to be bigger and better. Starting with, well, not starting with, but next year we have a new format that we're following, and we have a couple new partners that'll be coming in with us. We have a couple new shows that'll be actually coming to the station, and also there are a number of projects that we'll be working on with the Artist Exchange radio show and with Be Exposed radio station. First of all, the Artist Exchange, www.theartistexchange.org, will be launched on January the 1st with a ton of just everything that we do. There's a marketplace, so if you're and you have a product that you want to promote and such, you'll have a place to be able to sell your work in a very professional way. This is not Craigslist. It's not thrift shop. No shout out to, you know, all those people that do it that way. But I just want artists to have a platform where they can professionally sell and promote their work at a small fee, of course, because we have to pay to keep things moving. Shout out to my web designer, Miss Jana Holmes, one of my best friends. She'll be, well, she's actually building it as we speak. She's been getting on my nerves and telling me, asking me questions and what do I want on it? We need content. So we've been doing a lot of videos. We actually have a new component to the Artist Exchange starting in 2018, and it's called I Am Art docu-series. We'll be doing short interviews with individuals in the arts community here in Baltimore, the DMV, and everywhere I may find myself, just discussing art as it pertains to who they are and what their contributions are. It's very similar to our Hotel RL interview, but we're specifically focusing on artists. And projects like that throughout the year. So stay tuned for that. You can go to the website, www.theartistexchange.org, and you can leave your email and it'll give you an alert once the website is being launched, and you'll get updates on a weekly basis, not every day, just on a weekly basis of what's new and what's coming out. So everything about the Artist Exchange will be on that website. So definitely stay locked in for that. But our guest today, Miss Sharan Nixon, she is joining us, and she wants to help individuals more so promote their events and the things that they have on a social media or just a public format. The do's, the don'ts, what's wrong, how can we fix it, her experience. One of the things that I've gotten into the habit of saying now, I don't use the word flyer anymore. And all of my guests, I don't ever use the word flyer. And it's very important that we change our vocabulary when we're looking to grow, because it does make you look at things in a different way, even though Sharan asked me for a flyer earlier. But it's cool. It's cool, though. It's fine. We all have slip-ups.
Why don't you do the gunshot thing? That's exactly what that was. There you go.
We all have slip-ups, and I understand it. But
it was just you and I on Facebook.
It's cool, though. It's cool. But it's still, we still all have to, the way we want people to respect us, we have to give it.
I just slipped up. Please, will you ever forgive me?
No, I said you slipped up earlier.
So wait a minute. Like my post
I didn't even say anything.
Like my post I put on Facebook this morning. Did I put it? Or I meant to put it up. I will forgive you, but what you should be asking me is if I'll forget.
That's a.
I forgive everybody, but I don't forget.
Right, I never forget because I don't ever want to repeat that mistake again. And I want to see the pattern of that mistake before it even becomes a mistake. But I've gotten really, this is really loud in my ear. It's really important to me that we know what language to use, even when we're coming into somebody else's space. For me, being a host of a show, I get a lot of bad pictures, bad bios, if they have one at all. And I'm really a culprit of this because I do it all the time, so I never think about having to do it. And I'm used to being in the same groups of actors and artists, so people use my last bio and I just maybe update it with a couple facts, but it's the same kind of stuff. I act, that's what I do. This is the last thing that I did. So
the
it's
bio
real
you
standard.
sent me, because I don't know if Nate is being humble or not, but he's been nominated for an Impact Award.
Oh wow!
So
that's not until segment 6, though.
That's segment 6.
Yes, I should have gave.
I'm telling them now.
I mean, I haven't said it yet, but I was gonna say it.
Okay, well, just act like I didn't hear it, because nobody's watching. So when they watch it the 6th segment, then you can say it.
But so when. So today's conversation will be structured around social marketing in terms of how to promote yourself and market yourself in terms of what it looks like to people. Not so much what you're actually doing, but how it looks to other people, and kind of some tips and some do's and don'ts to how to either make it better or just start all over, scrap it, burn it, start from scratch. So we have to take another quick break. We'll be right back here on the Artist Exchange Radio
Show. So don't go, we'll be back.
Only on BigExposedRadio.com.
I'll be back.
Thank you for tuning in to BeExposedRadio.com. Sit back, relax, and listen to this flashback of the Artist Exchange Radio Show.
Football, you basically have a good 10 to 12 years, and that's what it is.
When you have a lot of people retiring early, it's funny. A lot of me and my alumni from UVA, where I graduated from, one of our fellow Wahoos, he retired yesterday, 32 years old. To Shaw Ferguson, and he's been in the league like 10 or 12 years. So like you said, a lot of guys are making that change on their own now because they're seeing a lot of things from the the concussion movement,
right?
Stuff that's been happening.
Movement.
Is not the noun, it's the effects later, because you see different stories of men are in like their 50s and some are committed suicide because of the banging and the voices or the concussions. And
did you see that?
I haven't got a chance to see it. But
not the movie, but did you see those effects?
I have seen concussions in college where guys have played that whole entire game and didn't realize they was at a football game.
Wow.
But like before the big emphasis came about the whole concussions and what's going on, we was taught you just run through the wall. You can't be soft. You shake it off and get back in it. So
the wrong attitude to have.
Right.
Yeah.
It's really internal. Like you really doing damage, not just to your bones,
right,
but to your mind.
Everything.
Right.
And later on down the line, because just like you said, once the game is over, when you've been in a game and you think about it, because I tell people the NFL, any sports, whether it's male or female, is a semi-military, because you're told when to get up, when to work out, what to eat, when to play. All right, now you got a curfew. You got to be in the bed by this time. You do it for years and years, and all of a sudden, bam, it's done. So what do you do?
Right.
So just like the military that have with PTSD, we have that because we so used to having a certain way. And I remember watching this Brian Gumbel on HBO, it was like years ago, and a guy would act like he was getting dressed, a real good football player, would walk his daughter to the bus stop, and he would come back in the house, close the curtains, and just sit there because he didn't know how else to handle himself. Because he was so used to being told what to do, because our schedule are laid out. By this time, you got to do this. By this time, you got to do this. Eat at this time, back on the field. So,
hey, what's up? This is Nate, host of the Artist Exchange Radio Show. Tune in every Friday, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m., and every Saturday, 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. Real artist, real talk, real live, here live on BeExposedRadio.com.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
Artist Exchange.
The Artist Exchange. The Artist Exchange. The Artist Exchange.
The Artist Exchange.
The Artist Exchange Live.
The Artist Exchange.
The Artist Exchange.
Starts now. Hey, what's up, and welcome back to the Artist Exchange Radio Show here live only on BeExposedRadio.com. Today's topic is social marketing. Our sponsors for the day is VashtiBlue Jewelry and the Fashion Umbrella Foundation. The whole point of us being here, like I said in the last couple segments, is to show us how to market ourselves as artists, as business owners, as fashion designers, so on and so forth. It is very important that your image matches what you want. Like, if I want success, my image, and not so much how you dress or how expensive your marketing or clothing, whatever it is, it should match what it is. And nobody's telling you go out and spend millions or even thousands of dollars doing this. You can do it on a shoestring budget, and depending on how much you want in return is how much you should put into it in terms of effort, finances, attention. So I'll let Sharan start with just telling us who she is and all that she does. Fashion Week, Fashion Umbrella Foundation, Impact Awards.
Yep, that's me.
Dot.
Ellipse, ellipse, ellipse. And it's not called ... It's called ellipse, ellipse, ellipse. That's what the dots are called.
Well,
anyway. Right.
So forth.
So hi! Thanks for tuning in. So I'm Sharan Nixon, the founder of the Fashion Umbrella Foundation, Baltimore Fashion Week, several youth-geared programs, several community-based programs. Spring summer independent designer debut during New York Fashion Week, which is pretty hot. It's our 3rd year. Next year will be our 3rd year, so I'm really excited about that. And we make the list every year. The list is Fashion Week Online, and so not everybody makes that list. Because we're on the list with our 2nd year in a row, we sold out during New York Fashion Week, which is like amazing. And so we also sold out for Baltimore Fashion Week during our 10th year. What's the list? The list? Fashion Week. What?
What is the list?
Oh, the list. It's a site. It's called fashionweekonline.com. And you have to go on their site and register. And they approve for you to be on their site.
Okay.
So the site is where anybody that's in New York for New York Fashion Week, you want to go there to see what's happening. Some of the links that are listed or the events, some of them are free and some of them you have to purchase a ticket for. So both versions are on the site.
Okay.
And it's a really cool reference. So for those of you who are going to be in New York for February, it was your best go-to tool. I don't think it's up yet. It probably won't be up until January or right after Christmas. So you can go in there and you can request tickets. You may get them, you may not. Some of the free tickets, the high-end shows, they usually go to all buyers and their clients. And those shows you can never buy a ticket for.
Are they so in terms of fashion, is it a criteria for you to be able to get on the list, or is it any type of event? Does it have to be a fashion display, or
well, you can be invited to installations. They've started, I noticed this year, I'm sorry, on the list they had a lot of installations. And the installation, because we do it wrong here in Baltimore, so an installation is when you rent out a spot and you just have your garments there, and what you're supposed to do is invite in your buyers and your clients, and they look at your new line that's coming out, your new line of garments that are coming out for the next season. And a lot of, I don't know what they call it here, but that's not what it is. It's not really a pop-up shop. Say it again.
It's called the pop-up shop here.
Right. Yeah. But they also do pop-up shops in other places, but it's handled differently as well.
Right.
So that's what
I think I saw Rachel Zoe's like 2 years ago, and it felt like a fashion show, but it was more of
a show and tell,
a stylized exhibit. It felt more like an exhibit.
When Rachel Zoe does her installations, it's more of she's inviting in all of the fashion editors to her piece so they can hopefully market her garments. Because she was the first one that went live with her. Yeah. Yes, I love Rachel. So I met her. Well, I didn't shake her hand, but I was like, "Hey, Rachel." She said, "Hey, girl." So Felicia Peel and I went to the very first New York Fashion Night Out in New York in 2011, which was off the freaking chain. It was so awesome.
It's interesting. I've been to a couple shows in New York, and it's just it's different. I even went to a show in for LA's Fashion Week, and it's a little bit different in terms of is a whole package, and it's not. It doesn't feel so sociable, like a party, and it's for the business of selling my work, and not for this is our social light moment to like. Because everybody comes to look to be seen, but it's really for the purpose of selling something.
Right. So you go in, that's why the shows are, you might sit there for 45 minutes to an hour, but once the show starts, it's done, it's over, people leave because they're off to the next show. It's just, it's not a game.
Yeah. So in terms of, so I'll just get right into our questions.
Very good. Thank you.
Why is marketing important?
Well, marketing is to me the key to your gateway of your future. If you don't represent yourself right, you can forget it. And in this industry, that you only get one time to get it right.
Right.
If you don't get it right coming out the gate, some people, depending on who your audience is or your demographic makeup of your audience or your following, you can be ridiculed from the very beginning. And usually, sometimes once that happens, it's hard to come back from it.
And just as a side note, this is important for any type of business. Sharan is coming from the fashion world, so it's a little bit more...
I'm also coming from a nonprofit side too.
Where it's a little different, marketing is a little bit different. But in general, if you have a business, an artist, nonprofit, for-profit business, a restaurant, or you know, do lap dances, whatever it may be, how you represent yourself is very important.
Lap dances?
I'm just saying, that's a business. Don't knock it till you tried it.
Wait, that's another show. That's another show.
So, and some of the things that you brought up, knowing your demographic, those are things that you have to know before you spend your money or before you think about marketing, because depending on who you're marketing to depends on what platforms you use or how your image actually looks, should be determined by, if you even choosing to do marketing, you should know what age range or what demographic or, you know, what specific area your following is coming from. So you're not promoting something in Nebraska and your following lives in Nevada. Like, that's just crazy. But people just think, I'm just gonna put it out there, and whoever gets it, they get it.
And you need to know, whenever you're doing anything from an event to starting a business to lap dancing, you need to know who are you going after? Who is the perfect person for your business? And if you don't know that, you'll be spinning your wheels and wasting money.
Yep. And that's, I know my first year here doing radio, I tried to do that. Like I knew what I was talking about, but to whom was kind of the unknown, because this is just artists. But specifically, what types of artists? Am I talking to like beginners, more intermediate, more professional every day? This is my job, this is my career, this is my passion type of artist. And the fact that I wanted to touch each of those in a certain way, that means I had to branch out a little bit more than what I expected, and start doing marketing that kind of, or having conversations more that kind of was for everybody, that could be listened to by anybody. But when you're thinking about marketing for your event, how soon in advance do you start marketing?
As soon as the idea clicks. Because for me, if I don't jump on that vision, as soon as I have it, I'll lose it, and it might not come back.
Okay. So in terms of like whenever your event is, or whenever the date of?
For me, it's a little bit different. I think because I don't like to call myself a visionary, but if I can see the end result, then I can usually come up with a name, and from the theme or the name is where I get my marketing from. So, for instance, for Baltimore Fashion Week, there's no real marketing design yet because it hasn't hit me yet. It might not hit me until June, and it's fine, because the way the site is designed now, it's okay.
Okay.
Any
but
question
you're
you
still
have can be
marketing
answered
for it, though. You're still talking about it.
Oh, yeah.
But the whole package of it hasn't unfolded yet.
Right.
So in fact, there isn't a specific amount of time that you do need.
Well, it depends.
You're not going to do it the month of.
No. But it's all about, you have to learn the time frame and the time of your audience.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I know for a fact that before I launch anything, I check the TV schedule, I check VH1, BET, I check the calendars to see if people care. Right now, no one cares. They love us, but they could care less because it's the holiday season.
Right.
So it would be crazy for me to do a major push right now when no one's listening. But come after January 15th, everybody will be alive. And then they die off around Valentine's Day. See, this is what I'm talking about when I say you need to know your audience. And it's more than just an audience. It's a people temperature check type thing. Like, you have to know.
I think that's really important too, in terms of being a maker. If you are a maker, whether it be of events, whether it be you have products, you sell jewelry, whatever it is, you should always understand like what time of year you're in. It keeps you from either making or buying too many supplies. So if you're just now trying, so right now is normally the time that I start trying to make like stuff for Valentine's Day. And it normally works in that cycle. So I try to stay a couple months ahead of myself, so I'm not paying too much money at the last minute trying to make a bunch of heart earrings at the last minute, and then you have a lot left over because you didn't market it enough where somebody could get it in advance when they had the money, opposed to waiting until the last minute.
And there's another thing, you pay cycles.
Right.
If you're dealing with an audience that's driven to purchase according to their pay cycle, then that's a whole nother realm of marketing that needs to be developed. When you're dealing with corporations or major organizations, they don't see that. For them, it's more of the bottom line.
Right.
And you have to make that bottom line appealing to them. So
that's why they start so far in advance.
Say that again.
That's why they start so far in advance with their marketing.
Right. So you have to know, you also have to know when organizations go to budget. If you're doing what we do. So it's key for me to know when an organization is going to budget and when I need to send my documentation to them requesting support. It's much different from a for-profit organization.
So I noticed, like, for Fashion Week this year, it was a lot, the types of people that were there, I'm not gonna say they changed, but I saw a lot more, for example, I saw a lot more different types of people there. So what did you do differently going into this year that you may not have done in years before? In terms of marketing?
The marketing was not as loudly pronounced as it has been. It was year 10. So over the past 9 years, I had 9 years to kind of sort of get it right. And with it being year 10, and people for some reason woke up. So Steve Jobs put out a really good quote years ago. I can't remember exactly what it is, and I can't seem to find it. But he made the quote that if you can last 10 years, you've survived as a business.
Right.
And so with that 10-year mark, it seemed to have people woke up. Like, oh my God, they're here. They're still here. And that goes for the general audience and also the organizations that we dealt with. They said, oh, because it's a trial and error type. Like, okay, well, let's see. It's Baltimore. Nothing here is supposed to last more than 2 cycles. Nothing.
Yeah, that's a big thing.
Especially if you're independently ran. If you're from a big organization, okay, we got that. We know you're going to be here. Like if it's BOPA, okay, you know that's going to happen forever and ever. Amen. But for somebody like me to do...
Well, nonprofit is so much different than for-profit.
Well, back then it was for profit.
Okay.
But it was still Baltimore. That's what I heard from all the sponsors we reached out to. Oh, how long is this going to last? Are you going to just do this for 2 years and not do it a third year?
Because they're looking in the investment of it. They don't want to just put their money
But
into
they're
something.
also looking at the culture of Baltimore.
Right.
And I've been fighting that since we started.
So with that, we're going to go to a break. And when we come back, we're going to talk about some of the issues that we're having.
No.
Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Oh, no.
Everybody, check out what you missed on the one and only Be Inspired radio show.
I'm just thankful this year I've dealt with, you know, some growing pains, and I've overcome some things, and I've also, you know, accomplished some things in the process. I've learned some things. Like I've learned I learned that everybody loves your work until they got to pay for it. That's what That's what I learned. I learned everybody loves what you do.
The pay?
I mean,
not always.
Listen, the Bible says money answereth all things.
Well,
okay, and there is a place. There is a place where finances is necessary. And when you got kids, and when you got a wife, and then you doing everything, and you know you top dog at what you do, especially when you weren't in the same place you, like with this radio show, you ain't in the same place you were a year ago. Should nobody be coming on the show and not donating to your show?
Can you say that on my show?
Should nobody be coming to your show?
Can you say that in the middle of the live?
Yeah, make that a promo, please.
Should nobody come on this show without donating?
That is a nice commercial.
I don't care if it's $20.
Donate.
Tune in to Be Inspired every Wednesday live at 7 p.m. right here on BeExposedRadio.com.
Last time on Talk Lately.
Government. I don't understand why. Look, me, and I haven't said anything either. This is my moment. Where this American Healthcare Act is. Oh, you all right? Ooh, a sneeze and a cough. How'd that work out? That sounds real difficult. Like, damn, you know, sneezing is like you skipping a heartbeat. A cough is like you bringing up a lung. So it was like a sneeze and a cough. So you was dying twice. Because you was coughing, I was like, you okay? Achoo! What? How you fit that in there? So, now back to the American Healthcare Act, because you're going to need that to get the cough and the sneeze together.
Live every Tuesday at 7 p.m. only on BeExposedRadio.com.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
Lately is back on May 17th at 7 p.m. only on BeExposedRadio.com. Oh, okay, yeah. Also on YouTube. I know the rate is killing me. You see me recording? You a hard-headed asshole.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com, the home of Talk Lately with Monty, every Tuesday at 7 p.m.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
Artist Exchange.
The Artist Exchange. The Artist Exchange. The Artist Exchange.
The Artist Exchange.
Artist Exchange Live.
The Artist Exchange.
The Artist Exchange.
Hey, what's up? What's up? Welcome back to the Artist Exchange radio show here live only on BeExposedRadio.com. This is the last show for the year. So I thought it would only be I thought it would be perfect to start and end the season the way I always wanted to, with business at hand. So today's topic is social marketing, and it's kind of a precursor to next year. We'll be going with art talks. We had our first one where Sharan was actually one of the panelists, and some of these topics in terms of marketing and branding and just being a better, more professional and polished and prepared business person, no matter what field you're in, is kind of our perspective for the art talks. But we're specifically talking to artists for that series. So every month, on the first Saturday of every month, we'll be doing an art talk. Some of them will be live from the show, and some of them will be on location from some place here and between here and there, wherever that is. And a calendar of that will be listed on our social media pages, as well as our new website that's coming, theartistexchange.org. So we were talking about some of the problems that we were about to open the door to some of the issues that happen in marketing and branding of events in places like Baltimore, unfortunately. But Sharan had a couple questions that she wanted to ask from the live. Definitely feel free to call in 410-702-5657 and talk to Ms. Sharan or myself. We both can answer your questions. So again, 410-702-5657 with any of your questions or comments on our conversation. Stay on topic, please. Thank you. So you had a couple questions?
I did. Denise had a question. Is Facebook good? Oh, God, I feel a sneeze coming on. Okay, don't come out yet. Let me answer this question.
She's so dramatic.
It's right there. Shut up. Okay, so is Facebook good, or are there better areas to start? I use Facebook. I wear social media out. A good thing for me, because I have so many channels or pages that I manage, is Hootsuite. Yes, I pay for it. Almost everything we use now, there is a monthly fee.
And they did that to you. So they knew back then when they first brought out Hootsuite that it would be very valuable.
Well, you can get the free version with 3
It's very limited though.
Channels, right? But I have 17. So, I mean, I hit Instagram. If I used my Pinterest account like I should, but I don't, which I'll probably add when I go home tonight. But after my Star Wars movie. You know, for me, Facebook works. And also the paid promotions work, but you have to be careful. And once again, you have to know your audience. So it depends on what we're marketing. So if I'm marketing something for Baltimore Fashion Week, I'll hit all of the states that are surrounding Baltimore that I think the people will drive here for. So because it's a 3-day event, they might want to get a hotel room and make a weekend of it. So I'll hit those cities for the, say, the Impact Awards. Now let's get off of that. Let's talk about the educational honors. I will hit the states or the cities where I'm comfortable in traveling to recognize those students. I'm not going to do something or include Hawaii when it means that I have to spend almost $1,200 to get there. That's just the travel. That doesn't include the food that we provide. It doesn't include the rental costs for the venue. It doesn't include any of that. So Denise, to answer your question, Facebook works for me. If you want, we can schedule a meeting and I can walk you through it.
And with Facebook, you have, with any social media sites, because I see a lot of snobby business owners who don't like using Facebook as a business tool. And that's probably because they're ratchet on that platform, or their profile is very ratchet or unprofessional. And a lot of people who are still on the fence of a corporate job versus following their passion, they don't want to mix the two. Facebook is very useful for up and coming business owner or artist, in terms of just getting your face and your brand out there. I don't want to say for free, but in a way where it's not as expensive, because even with the paid sponsorship ads, it's beneficial. But if you're not communicating with a person where you're promoting at, or you don't have any type of connection to that place, you're just throwing a fishing net out there. So it's not really, you need to meet people in these areas, and have conversations with them and spark up relationships, whether it be professional or platonic, and just start the ball moving there, because then you have allies in that city or that state, so they can then start sharing your work out too. I've noticed that Facebook for me has been very beneficial, because I don't necessarily like going out a lot, but it's helped me to find out what's going on, find out who's out there doing it, so I can connect with that person. And your professional self should be very separate from your personal self. But if you are a person with one profile, it needs to represent your business. And my biggest gripe is your business does represent who you are, but you should not just, well, it's my business, so I can write anything on this page.
No,
but
you
just
can't.
know I don't have to purchase from you, or I don't have to support your business if I don't like what I see. So that's just my biggest gripe. So I think you can use it, but you just have to know how and why you're using that platform.
But for me, I have 2 personal pages. I have one with almost probably close to 7,000 people. That's including followers, because I do count those numbers.
Right. Well,
And
you
then
have
I
to count them because they can't follow you after 5,000.
Exactly. And then I have those that are on my private page where it's only 80 people. Those are probably people that are in my phone.
Right.
So, but I'm not on there. I'm on there during certain times of the year. So once I'm in the down mode from everything Fashion Umbrella Foundation, then I'm on that page. And when it's time to pick it back up, then I go back on the other side.
But you have to
Dark
know
side.
because it's our phones, these social media sites have made it so easy for you to have that dual purpose on there. They allow you to switch back and forth. They allow you to separate it or connect it if you choose to. But you have to be using it for the right reason.
Right.
I don't want multiple profiles. So I have one, and everything on there pertains to who I am as an artist. And then I'm able to dump each one of those different areas into that page, and it looked like Nate the artist. You know, even from my name on, like I really start looking at that now. So it's not important to me. I used to post what I was eating, and every now and again I may post a picture of me with my nieces, but I do it so sparingly that it's not even second nature to me to have to erase it or put it somewhere else. But it's just a part of me as the brand. That's how I use my personal profile page. But I should not know things about you that you don't feel comfortable sharing with the world.
That? Oh, never mind.
But everybody does. Like, and you have to understand. Like, I don't accept certain people with certain things on their page.
Yeah, I don't.
Because that means I have to look at it at some point when I'm scrolling through my timeline. But you should know as a business owner, it should not. You should look like a business.
Right.
Or
But
you
I
shouldn't be
also-
ashamed of the things that's on your page.
I also believe that if you do have a personal page, that it should also show a side of your personality.
Right.
So I have several, I think. When it comes to the Fashion Umbrella Foundation, I'm a whole different person. And then you have Sharan Nixon, the individual that can be an introvert one time and outside the box talker the next. But that's just me. I am very careful what I post on my page though, because everybody's watching, and I have been called on some things and I've deleted it.
And it like,
but Denise had another question.
The backspace button is so vital. Before you post it or before you click send, read it. And sometimes if you feel like you're in your feelings, just read it. Oof. And once you read it, you like, oh, I'm good now. I don't need to say that. And you just erase it, discard it. But you said Denise had another question?
She had another question. She said, I am at a point where I could switch professions. How could I break into knit design for companies? My best way to get yourself out there, because you're walking into a pool of already positioned fish, so to speak, I would just send them a sample of your work. I wanted to have this show with Nate because I was going to have just invite everybody in and just do a impromptu type workshop session where I talk about marketing for designers. And I don't know why, to me, this is just a personal thing. I feel that some designers are afraid to take that step outside of their comfort zone. Outside of their comfort zone, outside of their audience makeup, outside of their geographical region. Just step outside and do it. There are a lot of designers that make garments and they sit in their closet. Like, you have to do the work. The work has to be put in. If people don't know you're here, then how will they know to support or purchase from you? Like, if you're a boutique, maybe if you're a boutique and you're a stylist and you know someone, or you see a star, you have to go through their PR firm though, but you see a star and you see something that you think that they might want to wear, so send it to their PR firm. Like, you know what, I'm sending this gift to blah, blah, blah. I would love for her to accept my gift and hopefully wear it one day. That's not saying that you're telling the person to actually wear it, but you're hoping that they wear it. And you're kind of sort of in an invisible type way, asking them to promote you or your boutique. The same thing for designers. If you have the ability to create and the ability to put a garment on a hanger, then you should have the ability to package that up very nicely in a very professionally presented package with very nice tissue paper, and also get into the habit of purchasing stickers, so you can stick that on it like they do at Victoria's Secrets to close your bras. Well, they close my bras. Get in the habit of doing that so you can, step outside your comfort zone, and send the garments to the people who you want to wear it, or the people that you want to work with. Now, there are certain protocols that you have to follow. For some high-end fashion places, they have a guideline. So if you don't know it, you need to do your research to find it. And then if you can't find it, then I recommend that you call them and ask them, like, what are your guidelines so I can send a sample item to you? And you have to say sample if you're a designer. That way they know you know what you're talking about.
In terms of starting out a brand, so if you're a fashion designer and you're just starting out and you built your page that's associated with your profile, and you're just starting out in terms of marketing yourself, what are some of the, do you have the top 5 things that you should do when starting to promote? Are there which platforms do you suggest that they start with in terms of being a new brand? So I've had this Facebook page for mine since you had to be in college to have one. So in terms of starting out a business, how do you transition out of being ratchet or just being a regular person to now I'm a business, I'm a brand, I have something I want you to buy into or invest into?
Well, is it a business? Like, do you have an EIN number? Or are you
in today's world,
I know, DBAs.
Well, in today's world, that's a no. Because I can put my stuff on an Etsy or Facebook Marketplace, I don't need a brick and mortar. And with a brick and mortar, you have to have certain things in line before you start a business there, or they'll shut you down. You can open it up. A landlord can give you the building, but...
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were saying that in order to register your business to obtain an EIN number, that people thought that you had to have a building.
No, I'm saying in today's world, because everything is not in a brick and mortar, people are choosing, I don't need that, because foot traffic isn't what it used to be in a lot of places.
Well, I'm not saying
so
you need
people
to have
don't
a
feel
store.
as though I need to register my business, because if I do that, then I have to pay taxes. If I have to pay taxes, I'm going to be losing money. So a lot of people, I'm saying the person who hasn't registered. So you saying the first thing you should do is register your business?
No, because a lot of people don't have the money to get their business registered. I take a lot of workshops, online classes during the day. I hope they're not listening. And the biggest thing that everybody is navigating towards is now Instagram. So that's the first thing they want to know, if you have an IG account or if you have a website. They're not even considering the Facebook platform anymore to look at anything. Even on our registration form for Baltimore Fashion Week this year, we changed it to see the website or IG page, because that's where everybody's looking.
But, and see, my only issue with, not so much your advice, but
it is with my advice.
No, I'm just saying, I don't have an issue with your advice, but I would say it really doesn't matter. I think it depends on what you're selling.
It does.
And what your, like for me, Instagram is a place to test out what could work. Like, I just, for a long time I wanted to start a t-shirt business, but it's so expensive to do that. So I wanted to test out like the designs I had. So I started an Instagram page. I put, I think it's like 70 some designs up. I created how I wanted it to look and just saw what the response was. And that's what I use Instagram for. Now, Facebook is more about communication to me.
Okay.
Like if you want to communicate with the people you want to sell to, it's more important. And I understand what trends are, but I think we allow this secret society to decide what works for you and what doesn't.
Well, everything works for me. I have an IG account, Facebook,
right,
Twitter, LinkedIn, Pinterest, and I work all of them at the same time at the press of a button. So as far as I'm concerned, it's all working for me. I just thought it was interesting that now everyone's navigating towards Instagram. And I'm still trying to figure that part out, why that's so important right now. It's like the hot ticket.
Well, because nobody wants to talk anymore. All I have to do is like your picture and keep it moving. If I want to buy it, I'm going to look in your bio. I'm going to see how I can purchase this. We've gotten so far away from physically wanting to communicate with each other. Facebook still requires a certain level of communication outside of you just liking something. And Facebook got so sophisticated now, I can tell whether or not you saw it. So now you can see that I saw it. I don't really want to go on your page because people don't want to. It's like I want to support you when you get to a level of you're so far removed from me. That's when I want to support you. Instagram allows people to be that person. So Beyonce is on the same level as a Sweet Baby. You know, so they're the same person. I'm sorry, this is Sweet Baby, our co-host.
Hey,
Sharan,
happy
Nixon.
Friday, everybody.
But it puts, and I'm not saying that to be like disrespectful, but it puts everybody on the same level in terms of what you see. Because all I need is a real hot hashtag, and the same amount of people will see my post as a celebrity's post. So I think that's why Instagram. But I've tried to follow the trends. Like I stopped when Snapchat came out because I felt like this is too much. I can't do everything that everybody's doing.
What is Snapchat? I can't.
Right, it's like if I do another social media site, somebody's gonna figure out what my one password is, and I don't want to do that. So, and I realized in me not doing it, I didn't lose out on anything. I remember when you fine. It's a sneeze. It's fine. But I remember when Periscope came out, everybody jumped on Periscope, and Periscope became the thing to do, and it also started malfunctioning.
But Periscope came out before Facebook Live.
It did. It's the reason there is a Facebook Live.
Wait a minute. Because, you know, Mark called me. He was like, Sharan, I know you on Periscope. I was like, because you're on Facebook Live, Mark. And then next thing you know, he had, you know, Facebook Live, and it was because of me. So y'all can thank me later. But anyway.
But it is the truth. If you don't have to miss out on anything, just do, for me as a business, especially when you're just starting out, do what you're comfortable with,
and
then grow in that.
I'm not saying that everybody should be on IG, but for the people that I'm working with, they need to see, especially those that are in the fashion arena, the first thing they're asking me, what is their IG page? And if they go and I'm saying, you know, I don't know if they have one, and that's not, I don't think I should be held responsible for knowing. So now it's part of the registration process for designers. You have to have one or the other, or I'm sorry, you can't get in. I'm sorry.
I think what it does is it shows your presence. It actually shows what you have to offer.
Right.
So if you don't have time to organize and display. It's like a portfolio. I think Instagram is now being used as like a lookbook type of platform.
It is.
And it allows people at a glance to be able to see who you are, what you're doing, what you have to sell, and what your presence is.
Because they tell you that I've sat through at least 4 different webinars, and they say the first 9 images that people look at is for the person that's looking at you, it is a definition of who you are.
Mm-hmm.
So, and they tell you that it's a formula. It's crazy, but I need to know.
And I put a lot of I pay attention to those webinars because I've started to do them myself, because I've noticed, especially for Instagram, a lot of them are jumping up more so than Facebook. Like, I didn't see all those webinars for Facebook jump up, but again, these are people who and you have to be cautious as to which ones of those you listen to, because a lot of them did it the old way where they paid for a lot of followers and now they're expert at something, and now they're telling you a strategy minus I paid for all these followers. So I still get very leery about even the information that I take in, because where is it coming from? But a lot of it, like you just said, it tells you your images. So at first I would just post, but now I have to post something about the art, something about news, something about the various different things that I do, something about the show, and I follow that pattern, and then I insert in there just random inspirational quotes or something where when you listen to the Artist Exchange, you go get a little bit of all of that. So I've learned how to do that. So it's not just cute pictures of my 4 little nieces on there, or just pictures of my jewelry. I've learned that if you do multiple things, you need multiple pages, because to try to fit all of that in a calabash of one Instagram page is confusing.
But why can't you have, if the person knows Nate as the person, and they know that Nate has several different avenues, then they would expect when they go to Nate's page to see several different things.
That's true. The reason I do have different pages, and my Instagram game is top. I'm awesome at Instagram. I haven't perfected it, but I separate it because at time I want people to be able to see just the jewelry. I want people to just be able to see, me as an actor. And sometimes all the other stuff can be distracting to somebody who's just looking for a pair of earrings. I don't care about your radio show, because I'm that way. When I'm looking for something, I want to see that. I don't care what this designer is doing in their personal life. I really don't. And actually, that'll keep me from looking further, because I'm going to feel like that's all I'm going to see. So I'm not even going to go any further. And I'll put a post about my jewelry on my umbrella page so you can still see it and you can still click on it, because now you can link pages in terms of like regramming. So I'll put something on there where so they can get to that, because that's still a piece of this. But I'm not just going to load up everything on this one page in terms of marketing for specific. It helps my creative mind to be able to get organized, because then I'll just start posting everything for the sake of posting. But we're going to go to another quick break. Coming back, we're going to be talking to Sharan about how to fix some of these problems that we brought up. So how can we organize ourselves in terms of being a better marketing strategy? Definitely call in 410-702-5657, or you can text us at 443-702. No, I just said that wrong. 443-642-9403. I haven't used that number in a while. Call in, obviously. 410-702-5657. We'll be right back after this commercial break.
Check out this flashback of the Artist Exchange Radio Show on BeExposedRadio.com.
Joining us right now is Mr. Antonio Long. He was one of our first See Baltimore artists. That tour is actually under construction, and we're doing some revamping and making sure the foundation is solid.
Yes.
So we haven't forgotten about it. So December we kind of took a pause, and we'll be back up and running, and Whew, January, my mind is gone. Food. I need food. If you're in the downtown Baltimore area and you have a cheeseburger in your hand, definitely stop past the studio, give me a call, and let me know where you are, and I'll meet you wherever you are. But Antonio Long is joining us in the building. He's a singer, inspirational, not necessarily gospel, not necessarily R&B, but encompassed of both of them. Yeah. So let us know a little bit about who you are, what you do. Singer.
Writer, recording artist, and I just like to make good music.
There we go.
From Baltimore.
So possibly we'll hear a little bit of it live, if he's not afraid, because we throw people under the bus.
Yeah.
Talent-wise.
No doubt.
On this show. We got to see if you got the chops to sink or swim.
Okay.
We do it. We don't hold back here. We don't hold back here. But we'll definitely try to hear from him a couple more segments. So let us know about your music. So do you have an EP coming out, or is it one in the making?
I just released the EP, actually, October 28th.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, it's called Life.
Life.
Yeah.
So what was it like making that?
It was fun. This is my first... it's 8 songs on the project, so it's kind of a little more lengthy than your typical EP. But I put out a mixtape last year, but this is my first official project. Everything else has been singles. So
you're singing your own music now?
I'm singing my own music.
Did you write it?
All original music. Yeah.
Okay.
And it was fun. The creative process was fun. I worked with Junior Lee.
Okay.
With Faith Junkie Productions. He's based out of Delaware.
Okay.
And it was fun. I was going up there. 2-3 times.
It was business because it's your money on the line.
Definitely.
Right.
No major labels.
Yeah, no doubt. It was fun. It gave me. It's more work than what I expected. Honestly, because
you're doing a bunch of different. You're writing and the performer in it, so that's 2 big jobs right there.
Yeah, it was definitely. But creatively, it was great. It was great collaborations. I also worked with Anthony Johnson. He produced a song off of the EP. He's from Virginia, and I worked with So For Real Productions.
You deal with some legit individuals. Okay.
Yeah. So.
The Artist Exchange Radio Show every Friday 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. every Saturday 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. Real artist, real talk, real live on BeExposedRadio.com.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com. You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
Hey, what's up? And welcome back. That was kind of loud. Welcome back to the Artist Exchange Radio Show here live on BeExposedRadio.com, the #1 station in the DMV. I can say that because that's what it is. This is also the last day. Sorry, my mic went off. This is the last day for the Artist Exchange Radio Show in 2017. We'll be coming back in January the 5th. Also, I have 2 remaining passes for our trip for January the 11th to the African American Museum of History, the Smithsonian answer to the African American experience. If you have not been, definitely you can call in today at 410-702-5657. Again, 410-702-5657. The first person to call in will get these 2 passes to go with us on January 11th.
They have to ask
the only
a
key
marketing question.
Say it again.
They have to ask a marketing question.
Sure.
But what was I'm quite sure your criteria is much worse than mine. What was
I
yours?
want to just give because it's such an awesome experience. If you have not been, it's a huge museum with 6 levels, 3 in the basement and 3 above ground. Of just it's geared towards the African American experience, and it varies from slavery, plantation, all the way up to the present day. Nene Leakes is one of the exhibits, so just imagine it's everything that you can imagine in the kitchen sink in this museum, but it's done with such professionalism. It really is. Like, if it was ghetto, I would have said it. I would have really told y'all. I wouldn't be trying to go back with a class trip, but it's definitely an awesome museum. I just have an issue with Nene being the exhibit, and I'm not. But it's cool.
So, never mind.
Go ahead, ask your question.
My question is, so you give the tickets out. Someone
Yes.
says they're going to get the tickets, and then they don't show up. How do you handle that? I need
How
help
do I
with
handle that?
When you give
Well-
away something free and they don't even come and pick them.
Well,
Pick
for
out.
me, that's been my issue for a long time, because if you charge for an event, it's always too much. If you don't charge, people don't take the event seriously, so they choose not to show up. So that's been, in this community of Baltimore where I've grown up as an artist, that's been my experience. I've been in other cities. I've been in New York and did a play that had like 25 seats in it, and it looked like the projects. And it was a theater company in this small venue, and it was packed. People came. I've been in Baltimore.
Where did you say it was?
And it was in off of Broadway.
Where? In where?
In New York City.
Oh, right.
That's what
okay,
I'm saying.
right.
No, I'm using it as a comparison. Whereas though, when people want to come to something, they come to something. It's not just about support. It's not just about the name on it. But if I love art, I'm going to go see art. If I love tennis shoes, I'm going to go to whenever there's an opening or whatever. But in places like this, and I don't want to keep harping on Baltimore, because there are a lot of places like Baltimore out there in the world. But we have to, if I love this thing, I have to go, because I never know who's going to be there. Most times, big names don't announce when they're coming to something. They show up. And I've just been a part of this arts community in various capacities, and I've just seen good things be overlooked, and they sometimes don't even last that second cycle. Baltimore is a city where things last for 2 years, and that's it. Sad to say, but that's just how it is. But we have to change that narrative, and it's not just about support. I've been yelling support this whole year, but I think it's more than support. You got to just have common sense. Like, if you want to be a part of something, get out there and see other people that's doing it. Because I see the same people that snub events send you invitations to the same thing, and be mad when nobody shows up to it, because you're not showing up. But that's what I do. I'll give it to somebody on the street before I get mad. And that's what I'm doing. That's why I'm not giving out passes. So I'm going to be there early enough where people come and you get your passes if you don't, because they're time tickets. So if I give you your time and you're not there, I'm going to see somebody that doesn't have a pass and say, here you go. Merry Christmas.
Like,
yeah.
I love you here.
Because we did that when I went this last time. It was a surprise trip for us, and we had 6 passes, and there was only 2 of us that showed up. And we went and we gave it to 4 people that was in line, because they don't play. You can't just walk in there and without a pass. Like, they are time tickets, and they have only a few tickets that they give out the day of, and that's like 6 o'clock in the morning that they open that up. And once they're gone, they're gone. So if there's nobody in line that has an extra pass, you're not getting in there. And they've had over, I think it's 2 million now, people that have come in to visit. They play. That's why I love it. Like, they are on it. They and it's restricting. I think restricting.
You want to have their babies, don't you?
Huh?
You want to have the museum's babies, don't you? You're
I
getting
do,
excited
like,
over there.
But it's amazing for something like that to open up for us. Where. But it was more, and again, it was other cultures of people there. But everybody seems to want to go. But I think because it's so limited, that's making people want to go. So do we have to, and that goes to the next question in terms of how we fix the problem. Do we have to restrict it, like that supply and demand thing, to make people come? And we speaking about the other side of marketing now. So speaking to the audience member, do we restrict it for them to take it seriously, or
I don't
make it exclusive?
I don't know about exclusivity or restriction, but with us and with me, I just had this conversation with a photographer on Facebook. He wanted to come and cover the gala. And my issue is, where are my pictures? That's why now you can't get in. If I haven't worked with you in the past, you're not getting in. I'm okay with having 3 photographers at the end of my runway because I know at the end of the night, I'm going to get my pictures in 2 days.
Why did you, but okay, again, so why did you do that again?
Because photographers here don't deliver. And if it's a matter of money, then let's talk about it. Don't just come to the event and register, take pictures. I see them all over IG and Facebook. And everybody on my team is like, where your pictures? Sometimes I don't see stuff. I see secondhand from my team telling me that this is out there. Other designers telling me, where are my pictures from this photographer? And I'm like, oh, what the fuck are you talking about? And so that's my spiel on that. And with ticket giveaways, we got a phone call?
So we have a caller. Hello, caller. Here we go. Hello.
Hi, this is Nate.
Hey, how you doing?
Hi, it's Denise. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you for calling in. Also,
yeah.
Going to the African American Museum of History.
Denise, you're going?
Yeah, I want to go.
You're going, right? You're going. Where do you live? Are you in Maryland?
Hello.
Are you in Maryland?
Am I the first one?
Yep.
Yes, you are.
You're
so
the
you
only
have
one.
the passes. I have your information, so I'll give you a call after the show with the information on and all the things. But do you, other than that, do you have a question for Sharan?
Okay, I'll give her one more question. What is something like not to do in marketing that would totally like dump like your line, you know what I'm saying? Like totally make a mess of your line after trying to start out.
I think less words are more powerful than words all over the place. Unless it's
Denise, can you turn down the show? Because we can hear your show. You listening?
I think when you not I think, but I know when you do your marketing, it's less language. When people are looking at marketing from designers, and you can use Vogue and all of those different publications, it's not a lot of words. The pictures speak your words. So for you, Denise, I would, because you're kind of vocal, which is a good thing because you know your brand, you know your stitches, you know your fabric types, you know how much 10% polyester, how much 10% wool, or you know your yarns. So for you, for any designer, this is just me speaking. I'm not saying I'm the holy grail or anything, although I could be, but I'm not. So for me, I think less is more, and I had to learn that in 2009. Someone took one of my marketing campaign pieces and completely ripped it up, and when she sent it back, it was gorgeous. So that's why when you see our marketing campaigns, it's not a lot of language. The picture or the image is what sells it. Whether it's just words on a colorful background, you know exactly what I'm delivering to you. Especially if you go to the Baltimore Fashion Week site, you'll see that the landing page is nothing but information on the event. That's it. That's all you need to know right now. Anything else, you can get it on the site. If it's available to be discussed, it's on the site. So for you, Denise, I think for you, less is more because your work stands out for itself.
Hello, Denise. So Denise, I'm gonna call you after the show is over to get your email address and all that jazz. And congratulations on your 2 passes. And I can't wait to see you on the 11th.
What month?
I'm sorry, you're breaking up. What's that?
I'm going to call you after the show with information on your tickets so we can get you your passes and the information. So thank you for calling in.
Okay. Can I give you another number?
Just text me, Denise, and I'll give it to
Yeah,
him.
text Sharon and she'll give it to you.
Okay, thank you, sweetie. All right.
Thank you so
Have
much.
a good night. Bye. Bye.
I bet you $10 she's crying right now. I bet you. Her and her sister will be there in January.
Are they in Maryland?
Yeah, I think she lives in Harford County.
Okay.
I think.
So, back to the conversation. So, some of the things that you think we can fix. So, one of the things is not calling it a flyer. Call it in a marketing strategy. That's the one that we use here a lot. We've been programming all of our artists to call their announcements marketing campaigns instead of flyers, and that makes a difference because it makes you make sure it looks a little bit more.
Well, not only that, you stand out from everybody else.
Right.
I would pay more attention to the person to come to me like, I need you to take a look at my marketing campaign than can you look at my flyer.
And
I might not even.
You can grow
seriously, I might
with
not even
it.
speak to them.
And I'll say, when I first got here, I'm the person who always gets the free. Can you hear me? I always had
sweet baby.
I always chose the free phone. So my images, is a point to it. So when I first came here, all my images were very blurry, and I had a set way of how I do things. The same thing I do now. I send out an announcement that the show's coming on. I promote the show. I take a picture at the end. All those things is what I've been doing from the beginning. And it grew as my capabilities grew and my technology grew. It grew, so I started doing different things, and I started unfolding it. It wasn't like different every week, so I stuck to wherever I was for at least a month, and then I just gradually changed. So start wherever you are.
Yeah.
But just be as simplistic as possible. That's one of the things that I'm learning how to do. Just be simplistic, because I want to give you everything. But I realize everybody don't read.
No.
And we're growing to a place where nobody wants to read anything.
No.
They want the basics, and that's it. And even the basics, I don't want to read it. Put a picture of it up, and that's it. Now everybody's into the short video clips. So now that's the thing, because people want a motion picture. They want a little bit of something moving or changing, or they just want to see action.
But if you do that, and then you put the words on it, and then you don't put the timing on the words right, like,
yeah.
I mean, I gotta be careful how I say this to see.
Just be raw. This is the artist exchange.
I know, but I can't.
Your brand, I understand.
Right.
Your brand.
I'm working with people, so I have to be very careful what I say. So there are some people on Facebook that'll put up videos, or organizations on Facebook that'll put up videos, and I'm trying to read the video, and the words are going too fast. Like, wait a minute, wait. Then you have to rewind it, and I got to put my glasses on. Like, why are the words moving so fast? If you're not talking to me, then I need time to read these words.
And that comes from doing. It comes from doing what you see and not doing any research on what you're seeing.
But this is coming from high-end people.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's doing what is trendy. But it's still doing what is trendy. Even people with a lot of money, people who are so past where the rest of us are, they still make the same mistakes because they are looking at what is trendy versus researching that option and seeing if it works for what you're doing. Because if what you are doing requires for people to know the date, know the website, know where to register, know XYZ, you need to do that in a way where those things are seen. Or that is the picture,
right?
Versus you putting a picture up that has all these overlays on it, and nobody can see that, or it goes so fast that nobody sees it. You know, attention spans are very small, but at the end of the day, if I'm interested in this, I'm gonna take a couple more moments to see where I gotta go to the website or where people, and that's why if you don't support what I'm doing, that's fine. I'm not going to do anything more than my very best.
Right.
In order to get you there. So I put all the information on there because people, if they want to come, they're going to take a couple extra minutes. to go online. I don't want to go online. I got to pay online. If it was something they really wanted to do,
They pay online for Beyonce tickets.
Right. So I've really started doing that now. So I don't try to have, you can pay at the door, I'll come and bring you tickets, you can meet me. I don't do all that. This is where you get the tickets from.
I just said, okay, Denise, thank you.
But you learn that. You learn that.
I love her. Denise, we love you.
So the next question that I have is, what are your top 5 must-haves in terms of what you do? What's the best 5 practices or whatever that may be in marketing or branding?
One of the best tools that I ever purchased was a color wheel.
A color wheel?
Mm-hmm. I've always wanted to order the swatches from Pantone. They're so freaking expensive. So I'm trying
to. The swatches from where?
Pantone.
Okay.
They're the keeper of all colors. So I'm trying to become their best friend, so hopefully they'll donate it. I can't afford it.
They may have a sample version of it.
I don't want sample, nothing. I want what they use. Because they're the kings and queens of color matches. So I want what they use. So when I do a flyer, I'm sorry. Oh, did I just say flyer? Ooh. I forgot. I'm so sorry.
It happens.
When I do my marketing campaign, see, I got real comfortable. See, I thought I was in my office. When I do my marketing campaign, the first thing I do, if I'm not already versed at what color I want to use, I pull out my color wheel, especially if I'm stuck. Because I'm the type of person where I don't want to throw stuff together. Like, I don't care what people think. I'm just going to do this. And then when I sit back and step outside myself, then I see that doesn't work. So a color wheel, you need to have a good...
and that's the color wheel is just so your flyer isn't all over the place. It's
right.
just
certain colors just don't go.
Right. But again, that's taking it a step further because we're taught that make it red or make it yellow.
But red is a very powerful color, and you have to be careful how you use it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I have one flyer that has this totally red. It might have red in it or red line, but it's not totally red. So a color wheel is one. A good marketing platform, like some type of platform you can use to create your marketing campaigns in. I almost said flyer. They's looking at me like, don't you do it, don't you do it.
No, but it happens though, but that means that you're conscious of it.
I am.
And you have to remain conscious of what you're saying, the vocabulary that you, because it means how much I'm taking you seriously. Because if I see you flip-flopping, or we gonna call this a flyer.
Right, and I'll be like, no, we're not.
Right.
We're not. I just made a mistake. So, I mean, you have to, a good computer, PC, Mac, whatever. Mac is expensive, get a PC. You have to have time, and you have to have a vision. Because if you're trying to do something somebody else did, forget it. And Fiverr is a very good tool. FIVERR.com.
I swear, I'm very selective.
Oh, I got some. You need one?
I already use.
I got a list of them. I done been through them enough. I have certain ones that I go to.
So Fiverr to me is like this whole idea of apps. So I use apps to create a lot of the imaging that I do, but you still have to go through and research and figure out what's the best thing to use. Because even Fiverr, you can just pick somebody who has a good image and you get something back that looks like a school project, kindergarten.
But with Fiverr, what I've noticed is that some of the work that they put up are templates.
Yeah.
From what Fiverr gives them when they start. And the reason why I know is because I started a Fiverr page to write press releases that lasted a good hot minute because that's a lot of work. I'm like, no.
Not for $5. I'm just saying.
Now I think it's 10. I think Fiverr went up to $10. If you're a certain number, then your jobs or projects, your gigs start at $10 and go up. But anyway, so if you need somebody to give you a bombing flyer or audio,
on a budget.
What else have I had done? Say it again.
I said on a budget.
On a budget, I got some people that I use that are really good. Did I name my 5? I named them.
That's a 5.
Okay.
So, in terms of the do's and the don'ts, in marketing, what don't you do?
A lot of words.
A lot of words.
On marketing.
On marketing.
I'm just going to say, can I say flyer for tonight?
No. I mean, it means the same thing. But when you're being professional, when you're representing yourself outside of a conversation,
right?
I see the value in using the right vocabulary. And it's not you being above yourself, but you have to speak beyond where you are so you can get further.
Right.
And not just stay there. But I get it, because we kept doing it. So
it really bothers me, and maybe it shouldn't. When I see an event and it's more than a 5 W's listed, I could care
it's more than the 5 what?
Who, what, when, where, and why.
Okay.
Who, what, when, where, and why. That's all I need to know. Anything more than that, now I'm tearing your event apart. Because that's telling me how long I'm going to have to sit there, how organized it is.
And this is your chance to be.
I'm not.
It's your chance to be that person today.
And I'm not going to be that person on the air.
Okay.
When it's over, then we can come to my office. I'm like, let me tell you why I said that. But it.
And I'll play devil's advocate for a second. When you're learning when you're in the process.
But when you've been doing it for 7 years,
yeah,
you should have learned by now.
But you shouldn't. And I'll say that, not saying that you should have caught on. Like, yeah, you should have caught on. But a lot of people, they do the same thing. They do what's comfortable to them. Like for me, and you've been here since I started here, and I saw what was here when I got here, and I saw how everybody did something their own way, and I came in here with my own perspective. But I was never satisfied. Because I watch a lot of other podcasts, and not to compare myself, but I just want to see what's out there.
Right.
And I see what's trending versus what is stable, what's constant. And I was never satisfied with how I was marketing the show or how somebody else was marketing my show. And I always had my own ideas, from a logo to, but I was patient. It took me a minute to really get a logo that I was satisfied with. Because I just, so I got the standard one that the station gave to me. But I knew where I wanted to go, so I just was patient. I didn't push it. And sometimes you just have to just see what works and give it time enough to see whether it's working. Not just keep jumping, because then that's confusing to people that want to find you. Because now you got about 30 different images of yourself out there.
Are you talking about as far as the logo?
Yeah, in terms of a logo. And that'll take me to another question too. When you're trying to put that stamp on your brand, what are some of the things that you see people make mistakes with in like doing a logo?
That's a hard question to answer, because a logo is a vision of that person's vision for their business.
You're so
I am.
So church-like today.
Oh my God. Amen. Amen. So
I'll say this, what is a bad logo to you?
So you're asking me a question like you want me to depict someone who's being dressed. I consider your logos and fashion in the same category.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't knock a person for what they wear. I might not wear it, but if they love it, if they like it, I love it. I freaking love it to the end of time. When it comes to somebody's logo, I think I don't think I have, or anyone has the right to tell another person that their logo doesn't match your business. Because just because it's like that now and they're doing something that doesn't match their logo right now doesn't mean that 5 years down the line, now the logo will make sense.
Right.
So when I did Baltimore Fashion Week, I went through at least 6 different logos before I picked the one that I was married to. Married to meaning I'm not changing it.
Right.
I did have someone to do another one, but the other one, it was too late because the other one was branded and I didn't feel like rebranding the new one. So the Baltimore Fashion Week one that we use now is the BFW with a woman sitting on a W. The end part of the W, she has a long gown, silhouette, and all of that. So that's the Baltimore Fashion Week one, and for the Fashion Umbrella one, I knew I wanted to have an umbrella in it. I knew that. And the umbrella, let me explain that, because I was talking to the person who we worked together on writing the grants for the organization, and I was like, I'm going to change the name of the organization. People just aren't getting it. And so when I explained to her the reason behind the name Fashion Umbrella Foundation, she got it. She said, I don't think you should change it. It's too late. You can't. It's too late. Because people already know it. I was talking to somebody, and they said, oh, the Fashion Umbrella people, like, it's too late. So the purpose or the premise behind the Fashion Umbrella Foundation, when Baltimore Fashion Week was a for-profit entity before it came under the nonprofit umbrella as a fundraising event, I always said, oh, we're going to have Baltimore Fashion Week's going to have all these different spokes, and it's going to be like an umbrella, and we're going to cover everything. Because originally Baltimore Fashion Week was supposed to have been the fabric on the umbrella, and then my dream, which is why a lot of our programs came to place now, were the spokes on the umbrella to hold it up. So when Baltimore Fashion Week just didn't make sense because it was already a for-profit, it was just too much money to change it. I said, you know what, I'm going to start a fresh new nonprofit, make it totally around the experience I experienced in raising my sons, and make it around education. So that's what I did, and we came up with the Fashion Umbrella Foundation. Baltimore Fashion Week came under it, and then that's when we came up with Under was already in existence, but we moved all of our, because Under wasn't LLC or anything, it was just a DBA at the time. And so we moved all of those under the nonprofit umbrella. So now they're fundraising events.
So,
did I answer your question? I did. I don't change people's logos. Because I've seen some logos that just don't make sense to me, but that's not my place. Right. It's not my vision.
And that is the problem, because then you don't, looking at a logo, you should kind of see a glimpse as to what you're going to see.
You should, but some people don't know that. Right. And when you're talking to someone about their business, about the business they started and they dreamt about it when they were 6, sometimes I just have to sit there and bite my tongue, because everybody's not open to a critique. I wasn't.
I'm not getting to that point, but I understand that, because initially my logo, I didn't have a logo coming to the radio show. That's why I was given one when I got here. And
I don't remember your first logo.
And it was just the words. It was just the words written, like, it's still the words, but it was just the words written out. That's how much I've pushed the news, because I had to eliminate that, because I didn't want the radio show to be at the forefront of what I was doing. Because this was a platform. There's nothing wrong with it, but it was one of the platforms of a bigger picture that I had. And even the logo that I have now, it took me a minute to use it as it was sent to me, because it was too many colors, and I was like, it's all over the place. It's not. But when I wanted to open it up and expand the thought of it, then it kind of grew on me, and it looked real childish initially. But now that my mission has grown, it makes more sense to me. So I get that, like, everybody's, whatever your taste is your taste.
So if you didn't like it, why didn't you change it? I'm just curious.
Why didn't I change it? Because I know
have it changed or have it redesigned.
Because at the time I was really narrow in what I was seeing, and I wanted to give myself time to open up to it. So it looked different. The colors were different when I didn't like it, versus now I use it as it was given to me, because I understand what a vector image is now. I understand all those things, and that wasn't important to me, because I'm an actor. I learn lines, I take direction. That was all I knew. But coming into it and learning over the course of almost 4 years now, it really just, you expand, but you have to give yourself time to.
And it's a learning curve.
Yeah, it is. And you'll realize what's not working versus what's working. So our last conversation piece is marketing beyond the door. What does that mean?
To me, marketing beyond the door means that you're reaching out to an audience that you're not familiar with. So I kind of sort of touched on it earlier. when I talked about artists or designers or those that represent the art community reaching out or passing their talents on to someone else instead of just keeping it in your closet or in your basement or in your living room. Wrap it up and send it to somebody.
For free?
Yes, for free. It's marketing.
Okay. I had to ask you because some people, because that equates to what the term exposure means. And
I don't like the word exposure because no.
But
you're marketing your brand.
No, but even with exposure, it's just another word for what you just said. But the problem is people have overutilized the word exposure, and exposure now means volunteer your services and your time. That's what it means. But you have to pay your dues at some point. People want to walk in as a fashion designer and be Marc Jacobs on the first try. That ain't possible if you haven't, nobody knows who you are or nobody's done anything. Exposure to me is still needed. It's still needed. It's still a part of what it's still part of what we need. But you can't get to a point of being so exposed that you ain't bringing nothing in. I'm giving you all of this in terms of who I am, but I'm not getting anything in return. So that's where I'm at with the word exposure versus what you just said. You know, what you said, marketing yourself. Is that what you use? I just look at them as the same thing. But
I mean, you can.
Because even in marketing, that's a lot of you giving of yourself. And
but if you want to reach that next level, sometimes you have to put your money where your mouth is.
And your time.
Yeah.
So learn.
But on the flip side of that, if you're comfortable in continuing to create and store, then
because even for you, at some point you have interns working for you, but at some point you want that intern when they come back to you next year to be closer to what they say they want than they work, because I don't need you at this point. You're just trying to get in my event for free at this point.
Well, yeah, I mean, we go through that all the time, and now I'm hopefully I've enlightened my son because he's responsible for the interns and volunteers.
The geek,
Mr. Geeks,
Mr. Geeks.
Yes, because I don't kind of sort of think he saw it. I see it. I see everything. I just don't say much, but I see everything. And this year, honestly, it was. Well, I am saying it now, not now, but I said it after the event was over.
Right.
I went through a brief hiatus, and it was hard for me to make the decision to come back. That's all I'm saying.
It is.
And I'm because I fucking had it. I'm sorry. I said it.
Well,
and things will be different moving forward. It's business.
Right.
It shouldn't have anything to do with you were here 15 years and now you're not coming back at all. I have an explanation for that. You don't have to talk to nobody on my team. I got you. You got an issue about what's going on with my business, I can explain it.
And
I'm sorry,
I like that. And I'm gonna have to bring you back when we come back because or we gonna have to turn that art talk into something else, because it's important for people to, as the person that's creating something, to understand that there are bullying points and there are levels.
I don't need groupies. Groupie time was 9 years ago.
Yeah.
I'm paying people now.
Right.
So if you're not here to work, I can do it by myself. I've done it before with the gala coming up. Right now, I have one person that's helping me. And
so
he has
real
no
quick,
idea he's being paid.
Because we only got a couple minutes left. Can you tell us what the Impact Awards are?
Oh, yes.
The
happiness.
Who, what, when, where, why, how?
Well, the Impact Awards, I created it to acknowledge people or individuals or organizations that make a change in a person's life for the community. So I wanted to just get awards made and send it to people, but I thought it would be more credible if we hosted an event and presented them in front of an audience of their tastemakers that follow what they do. And then following the awards presentation, we do a gala. And so the gala this year is a masquerade gala because that's what the team wanted. I was all against it, but that's what they wanted. So we're doing a masquerade gala this year, and the theme is Alice in Wonderland, an evening in Wonderland. So I'm adding a white queen table to the decor. The decor is going to be over the top. I'm so excited. And tickets, it's an open bar. Now, when you go to the website, you'll see the flyer says drinks. Open bar is from 9 to 10. I just made it all night. It just makes sense. Like,
woo! I'm getting toasted.
Yeah, it's all night. And Nove Sangria will be there. Ashley, she'll be the bartender this year. And I'm giving her money, and she can just get all the alcohol we need. Because I bought it last year, and I'm like, I don't know what I'm getting. I don't drink like that. And people were asking for beer. We didn't have beer, so we will have beer this year. And we're still accepting nominations. Nominations will end December 31st. Because I need to order the awards, and they have to be specially done. I need them to come in so I can look at them and make sure they're right. If they're not right, send them back, get them fixed. So I won't be doing that the week of the event, fussing and cussing people out.
And I have to say, just in closing out, I was honored to be one of your recipients. As an artist, I've gotten awards and plaques for doing stuff, but when I can see the work that people put into something, it means more to me than it just being a marketing strategy for that person's business.
Because nothing I do has ever been about me. It's always about other people. And I nominated you because I've watched you for several years, and I see what you do for other artists and other individuals in the communities. And sometimes I think you don't get the just due that you deserve. So I nominated you.
Thank you.
It's no voting process. So once the person is nominated and that person is reviewed or vetted, then they get a letter from me stating that they've been accepted. And the only thing I ask is that you show up. Because if you don't show up, you don't get your gift. And it's a nice award.
I got my, and it's black tie.
It's black tie, but it's also a masquerade ball. And I don't expect people to come dressed like I'm not Snow White, what is it? Alice in Wonderland. But you have to bring it. So the theme is fashionable, fabulous, and fun. And I expect it to be a lot of color. It's Alice in Wonderland, like bring it. The dessert table alone is going to be off the chain. I can't wait.
That's the only reason I'm coming.
For the dessert table? Oh, you'll have plenty to eat. Those conversations start right after the holidays.
So, in closing out, we're going to bring Sharan back in the new year because I want to continue this conversation because there was so much that I needed to say that I didn't get a chance to say. But
and I didn't get a chance to ask much either. Like, I came in an hour late. The weather was a little crazy. But I do have, like, questions and stuff that I wanted to ask, but we're at the end of the show now.
After show. Because we got It Is What It Is coming up.
Okay.
So, go to the website, www.theartistexchange.org. You can see all of our pretty faces on there and our information, the things coming up, the Impact Awards, all of those things. Go www.theartistexchange.org. It'll be launching at midnight on New Year's Eve.
Oh, New Year's Eve?
Right. Because I'm not doing anything. I'm going to be in the house and I'm just going to push the button. And it's gonna sprout.
You know, you can always schedule it.
Well, I want to be there. Like
to push it.
Because it's been a long time coming.
To publish.
So everything is being built now. And with that, you'll get all the updates on the socialite, the urban socialite, all of the different components of the Artist Exchange will be posted on there. So definitely look out for that and more. So
and
this has been the
website?
Go ahead.
Oh, fashionumbrella.org. That's it.
That's it.
That's it.
Get your tickets now.
Yeah.
Don't wait. Get them now. Thank you, Sharan.
Thank you for having me. Bye. Bye,
Thank
Denise.
you, sweet baby.
Bye, Taisha. Bye.
Sharan has a date, so we may not get a lot of her on the after
I know.
show.
I'm going to go see the movies. Going to Star Wars.
Ooh. So we'll be back next year, January the 5th, 2018 at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, if weather permits. So thank you all. Up next, It Is What It Is radio show.
It's the Renee Radio Show.
So glad you said that word, because I've actually found out that there are websites, ladies and gentlemen.